me show you what tools we're using today. So we're using a drill, a saw, a brad nailer, and a sander. That's all. Technically, we could probably get by with just these two things in making this project. Pretty simple project. The only thing is we're using plywood, so a little bulkier, more difficult to handle, but we've got 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch plywood, and we're going to get into cutting those. So anyway, there's one who's laying down on the job. She's trying out her new bed. Now you may say, well, wait a minute, she's gonna sleep on wood? No, right?
No.
This is just a bed. We've got a mattress to go on top of it. But she is curious about the length of this thing.
It doesn't look that long until you get on it.
It doesn't look that long until you get on it, but that's all right. Get up, let's work. All right, Amy, your bed is in pieces. What in the world? Just gotta put it together. All right, so let's talk this through. These are your tops, which are 3/4 inch thick, and we cut them 25.5 by 77 inches because they're going to be two boxes that are butted against each other, making up 55 by 77 inches. And the full size mattress is like 53 by 75, I believe it is, right?
Yep.
So that's your back, that's your tops. Now this is your bottoms, which is 1/2 inch plywood, and it's the same measurements, 27.5 by 77. And this is your backs. So these are 12 inches by 75.5. And we cut it shorter because we've got 3/4 inch side walls going up, and we want that to the inside so it don't show on the outside. We'll show you in a little while what we mean by that. Obviously you can do it however you want to, but we chose to do it this way. So these are 1/2 inch, 12 by 75.5. Now come over here to the shelves, or well, they're really walls, but they're going to create the shelves.
They're dividers.
Dividers.
We're calling them shelves.
Yeah.
So
all right, so
shelves.
these are 12 by 27.5, which is the same width as these boards, you know, the top and bottoms, because these are going to the outside. So one for each, you know, two for each box to the outside, 27.5. And we have cut them 12 inches this way. So because they're going to, you know, they're going to be a 12-inch space in that on the shelves. These are 12 inches as well, but they are for the inside. We cut them 26 3/4, right? Because we're going to leave a 1/4 inch space in the front so that it looks
like it's going to be like a little more fancy.
A little more fancy. Okay, yeah, we'll call it that. But anyway, so that's those 4 of those 12 by 26 3/4 is what we did. Now, if you want it to come out flush, you'll just need to take in consideration that you've got a 27.5 inch board, a 1/2 inch back, so you'll go with a 27 inch instead of 26 3/4. But that's what we chose to do. Now, we are going to put legs on ours as well. And what we've chose to do, since we have some scrap lumber out here from the plywood, is we just cut a piece
of a 3/4 inch.
Right, and so we're going to screw these together so that now this will be your leg, which you really will hardly even notice. And you could do tons of things with this, obviously, but you can just use a 2x4 if you want it, or whatever, wheels or whatever. But this is going to be ours because we don't have to spend any more money. It's just being as efficient as possible. We'll put these together, put them on the bottom. So time to start putting it together, Emery.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. All right, so we got one section together. As you see, our little feet that we made, 4x4 inch, they're 1.5 inches thick because they're just scrap wood. And then we've put some felt pad on there so that when it sits down, this is our bottom. And of course, this is our 1/2 inch. This is our 3/4 that we use for the top. These are our 3/4 inch sides. And you can see the 27.5 inches, but these are a little shorter because she wanted a little recess, shorter, and then the 27.5. And then if we flip it over on its the way it's supposed to go, you can see that the back, we didn't cut it 77, we cut it 75.5 to allow room for 3/4 inches on each side. And the biggest reason we did that is this is going to butt up against another one just like it, and that way the only seam that we would have is just, you know, where it ends, and the other one connects on the end. Whereas if we'd have run this other one all the way out, we'd had the end, two ends of a board out here. So that's how we chose to do it. Now we're going to get busy putting this one together and finishing it up.
Yep.
Yup.
Let's do this.
So both are put together, and you were in the process of staining it.
Yeah, that happened quick too.
It
'cause
happened
of the
fast.
roller.
Yeah. Rolling it on and then just taking a brush over it before it dries to make sure that it gets down in that wood. But it's looking good. Here is the finished product with the shelves underneath, and she's got it decorated up, stained, the whole 9 yards, and of course the mattress on top. And it is 2, as you can see, and of course there's shelves on the back side of that. And if she ever wanted to move it out, she can move it out in the center of the floor, and she's got access to both. But it's actually pretty simple to move it out because it has felt pads on the bottom and it scoots easy. But you can see the seam there. You could do some things to cover that up probably, but we like it. Simple build, and you know, roughly $200 or a little bit more for that. So hopefully this inspires your next bed project.